I hope you're all doing well. Um, so, just to kind of recap what we were talking about before, this week we've been going over minerals. We talked about what minerals are. We also talked about the properties of minerals and decided that we could identify a mineral based on its properties, or that those properties could make a mineral useful to us. So, today you're actually going to identify your first mineral. So the goal for you today is for you to be able to identify minerals used in everyday life and also to explain why that skill is a useful skill to have. Okay? So while you're doing this, I want you to think about the essential question for the unit, which has been, how are minerals useful to humans? Because they are. We use them every day. You might not realize it, but after today, you are definitely going to know that we use minerals all the time, okay? So first, I'm going to ask you a question, okay, in just a minute. And then I'm going to take all of your responses. We are going to organize them and categorize them. And then we're going to try to use those to determine what it is we actually want to find out for today, okay? And then you're going to get some materials and you are going to make observations that will help you determine the identity of your mineral, okay? And once you've done that, you're gonna fill out an exit ticket, okay, at the end of class. So let's go ahead and get started. So guys, I want you to tell me what makes a good pencil. When you go to the store to buy a pencil, how do you know you're buying a good pencil, right? So you're gonna click on this eraser here in the file that you have open. And I want you to, it'll take you over to Padlet and where you're going to enter in your responses, okay? So I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll come back and take a look. Okay, so now I've had some time to enter your responses now. Let's take a look and see what you guys wrote down. Okay, good for shading. Somebody wants a number 2 pencil. Somebody else wants a sharp pencil. Somebody else wants a mechanical pencil. I like mechanical pencils. You want one that writes good, that has a good eraser. So these are some good responses here. I think these might be helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this into a mode where we can sort of drag and drop these anywhere. Okay, and what I would like for you to do is team up with somebody next to you, and I want you to kind of decide, you can put these into some categories, all right? So separate them, decide which categories they need to go in, and then, group them together. So I see, let's see, doesn't smudge, blends easy. So like maybe these would go together, okay? So I want you to take some time to organize these. Don't spend too much time like quibbling over it. Like make a decision, but make sure it makes sense. And then we're going to come back and actually create the categories. We'll label them, okay? So I'll leave you to it. I'm going to come around and help out, and then we'll come back once we have them all grouped together. Okay, so wow, I see you guys have grouped these together really nicely. I see like everything here has to do with the pencil lead. Here you have, you want a pencil that is sturdy but flexible. You didn't want it to break in the sharpener. You want an unbreakable pencil. That'd be nice. One that doesn't rip the paper. So sturdy but flexible. See, you want one with a good eraser. It's good for shading. It can erase as well. So it goes on the paper easily and comes off the paper easily. Nice. Okay. This one over here didn't seem to go with anything, so you see we have another category. And the pencil lead. And I like this one here. It says depends on if you're drawing or not. I think I can maybe guess who put that, but I don't want to call anybody out. So is anyone willing to explain what you mean by that? Depends if you're drawing or not. Thank you, Chelsea. I knew it was you. Okay, so, all right, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so what Chelsea is mentioning is that, like, drawing pencils have different hardnesses, okay? So They even go into the letters. So you're all familiar with the number 2 pencil, but you even have numbers 1 through 4, and then you have letters, H and B, that all rate the hardness of the pencil. So artists use those a lot because it means that you can get a darker line or a lighter line without having to change the amount of pressure you're putting on your pencil. So thank you for sharing that with us, Chelsea. Okay, so everything here seems to have to do with the pencil lead. And I'm glad that you guys came up with this category because this is what I wanted you to do today, all right? What I would like for you to do, okay, and I see that somebody put graphite lead here, somebody put soft lead here, and you guys even named your header pencil lead. So this is kind of like what I wanted to get at. Is your pencil really made from lead? Is there lead in there? Okay, so you can actually find that out today. You're going to do a test and you're going to determine if it's lead. And if it's not lead, you're going to tell me what is actually in there. Okay? So, all right, so here we go. Back to the slideshow. So the goal was to determine what is inside of your pencil. You're going to use that based on what you know about minerals already, which is all the stuff that we went over that defines a mineral. So we can go over them again really quickly. Remember, you guys, I want you to remember, minerals are inorganic. What does that mean? Josh, what does inorganic mean? Good, thank you. Non-living. What about solid? They have to be solid and have a definite chemical composition. What does that mean? You guys, I know you haven't had chemistry. Do you remember we talked about it the other day? Sophia. Yeah, the molecules are all the same. They're put together the same way. Good, thank you. Okay, so also minerals have an ordered internal structure. Byron, do you remember ordered internal structure means? That sounds kind of complicated. Okay, Emily, what? So Byron's, he's almost got it, but I think that you might be able to help him out with that last little detail. Do you think you could help? Thank you so much. Yeah, Byron, did you hear what she just said? Does that make sense to you? Okay, good. Could you repeat it for the class? I just want to make sure you understand. Okay, thank you. So that ordered internal structure means that everything is put together the same way all throughout, right? It's a pattern, and it's like a crystal is in a pattern, right? So many of our minerals come in crystals. They come as a crystal, and they are naturally occurring, which means that the earth makes them without any help from human beings. Okay. So you are going to identify the mineral that's inside of your pencil, all right? And this first part is the easy part because you really just have to use your eyes, and you're going to determine the luster, the color, and the cleavage of your mineral, okay? Luster and color are pretty easy. They're the two that you can do just based off of your eyes, right? What you see with your eyes. But remember, I want you to remember, it's really important to remember this, that the color is really just not that important. Okay, color is the last thing that you're going to use to help you figure out what mineral you have. All right, if you start with color, it's going to send you on a wild goose chase. Okay, color is only good for narrowing things down when you get to the very end. All right, so cleavage is going to be a little bit harder. You're going to want to use your hand lens for that. And I'll give you a hint. You might want to break off the tip of your pencil because remember that cleavage shows itself when you break things. You're either going to have cleavage where the mineral breaks on even planes, or you're going to have something called fracture where the mineral breaks in a completely irregular pattern and you can't see any of those nice straight lines, okay? So I have here for you a digital hand sample. It's three-dimensional. You can play around, zoom in, zoom out, twist it all around. And I also have a microscopic version so that you can see how the molecules are arranged, which might be helpful in determining if there is cleavage. But you also have a hand sample at your table that you can use, okay? to help determine if there's cleavage. And I'll be around to help too, because cleavage is not, it seems like an easy thing to see, but unless you really know what you're looking for, and none of you have had any practice yet, so we're going to practice today. You'll get your first, experience with that today, okay? And the second, I just want to point this out here. This file, it's a spreadsheet where you're going to put in all of your answers. Okay, so you're just going to click on that little icon and it'll take you to the spreadsheet. Once it loads up here, you will see that some of these boxes have a drop-down menu. And that's because there are only certain options that you can choose to enter in that box, okay? So luster can only come for now in metallic and non-metallic. So remember, metallic is like your jewelry, gold necklace, gold watch, or maybe your money in your pocket. You would have change, so pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. Those are all metallic because they're made of metal. And then over here you have cleavage and fracture. Remember, I'm going to help you identify those, but your mineral is going to either have cleavage or it's going to have fracture. Okay, so those are the drop downs that you have to choose from. The rest of the row you're going to fill out with your observations. You're going to type those in. And over on the right-hand side, you will see that there is a Earth Science Tables of Reference, Properties of Common Minerals table, okay? So we're going to use this table to identify the minerals, and everything that you're going to check on the minerals on here, you have luster, hardness, cleavage or fracture, the color of the mineral. You have also distinguishing characteristics. So those might fall under like other characteristics, which we'll talk about in a minute. It'll tell you some of the uses of them, and then it'll give you the name of the mineral off to the right, okay? So by the time you fill out this chart, you should be able to figure out the name of your mineral. So let's go back here. And oh, by the way, I want to point out these are links, okay? You can click on these links. If you forget what luster is or cleavage, you can click on the link. It'll carry you to a page where that will give you a definition and some help with that, okay? Same thing here, hardness, streak, and other properties. Those are links. All right, and for the rest of the lab, you're going to use the rest of your mineral ID kit, okay? So you're going to test the hardness, all right? Remember, we went over that the other day. We showed you how to use the nail, your fingernail, the penny, the glass plate, and the streak plate, right? So please, 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 when you are checking for the hardness of your mineral, I want you to make sure that you are being safe, okay? Remember to never, ever, ever hold the streak plate or the glass plate or any of the other materials in the palm of your hand for that matter when you're doing any kind of scratch test or putting any kind of pressure on it. So that glass plate could break and cut you very badly. I don't want to see that happen. That would be very upsetting. No one wants to get hurt, okay? So we're not going to do that in our hand. The way to do it safely and correctly is to place the streak plate or the glass plate firmly on your lab bench, and you're going to then press firmly with the mineral against it on the lab bench, okay? If you need a review on that, there are a couple of videos posted right here that you can watch to show you exactly the right technique that you should use, okay? I've also given you a Mohs hardness scale, okay? We talked about that, but today you're actually going to compare using the scratch test and those different items to determine what the hardness is of your mineral that's in your pencil, okay? The streak plate, the example for that is over here. We went over that a couple days ago. And then other properties. Remember, there are some other strange properties like magnetism that not all minerals have that you may need something else to check for, such as a magnet, okay? And that's pretty much it. So after you have gone ahead and entered all of your data in, you're going to come to this page here where I'm just going to back out of this here. So this little red oval here is copy and pastable, and what I would like you to do is go into your chart and circle all of the properties that you found for your mineral to where you could identify your mineral and give it a name, okay? And then at the end, once you know what your mineral is, you are going to type its name in here. So at the end of today, you should have the name of your mineral in this box, or at least what you think your mineral is, okay? And your choices are on the right-hand side, remember. Once you're done, you will get to find out what's inside of your pencil. So I promise you won't leave today without finding out what's inside of your pencil, but no sneak peeking, okay? Because I'm watching you. I'm going to make sure that you don't find out until you tell me what you think is in your pencil, okay? And then, of course, at the end, there's an exit ticket, okay, for you to think about what have you learned today. So, please tell me, what are your questions? Okay, so if you need extra pencils, remember the pencils are over where they always are in the can on the Student Center. And everybody has a mineral ID kit at their lab bench as well as a hand sample, okay? And I'll be around to answer your questions. I know you will have questions, but you just may not know what they are until you actually get your hands dirty trying to do the lab, okay? So I'll be around. Good luck, have fun. Okay, get started.